Hey, what's going on?
What's up?
Hey, everyone. Good morning or good evening, depending on
Yeah.
where you are. Adam, how's it going?
Good, man. How you doing, Zach?
Pretty good. I was thinking though that we gotta stop doing this on Friday because for me it's Friday night, so it's like the very
Yeah.
end of the week. I probably just look crap. I probably just look dead, so tired
Yeah.
from being end of the week. But we'll have to start doing it on Monday or Tuesday or something.
Yeah.
But feeling fine. Yeah, had a
Good.
good week. A lot of stuff done. How's everything there?
Good. Woke up like an hour ago, so still getting my Friday going, but it's been a good
Mhm.
week. Can't complain.
But a busy Friday ahead of you.
Yes, we're getting a lot of stuff in today, so pretty
Mhm.
excited about that.
Yes. Hey, what's going on, Joel? I see Joel there in the chat. Yeah, so why don't we just get right into it? Because I want to make sure we got a lot of questions, of course, and people anxious to find out who's going to be the winner of the giveaway for today.
Yes.
So I want to get to as many questions as we can. So usually at the beginning of the episodes, we want to check out what's new in store, but
There unfortunately hasn't been anything new. We've had a few restocks, but today we are getting a big shipment. The real grade Ava Unit 8 will be here. Both core Gundams from Build Fighters will be here, or Build Divers will be here. A few 30-minute mission stuff. I know we'll probably have questions on the real grade Zeong. Those will be in hopefully next week from what we've been told by Bandai. So there are still pre-orders up for the DX set. I know a lot of people have been wanting that. That is kind of, from what we've been told, a one and done. So it's kind of one of them special things that Bandai's doing for that release. But yeah, obviously tons of new stuff to talk about as well.
Yes. Well, you have the giveaway kit there for today that you can show us, I'm sure.
Which one? I'm sorry.
The giveaway kit for today.
Oh, yeah. It's downstairs, but I can run and get it. I can run and get it.
No, they all know what it looks like. You
All
guys all know
right.
what it looks like. It's not like it's a new one. The Astray Red Frame, was one that had just recently come out with the Ultra and it's been out for a while. So
Yeah.
and it's had a number of reprints
It
too,
has.
as well.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's still plenty of people who would love to get their hands on one, as we can see from number of comments and things we have for today.
Yes.
But I'll show you something since we're here. I'll give you guys a preview at my Wing Zero EW Verka kit. I finished painting this, so I'll have a video for this to show you guys more in full next week. I went for the kneeling pose from the manual because I thought it looked really cool.
Yeah, no, it looks nice.
And different because I'm sure most people are going to be putting it in the kind of classic Wing Zero poses,
Yeah.
this or this, one of those. So I wanted to do something different, but yeah, it looked really cool in the manual, so went for that pose. A little changed it up a little bit with the weapons. So I wanted to use the shield as well too. But anyway, so I'll let you guys have a better look at that kit next week, and a couple other things as well too. But let's get into it with some questions, shall we? So let's start with the YouTube community tab here. Local spot. Dustin said, I keep asking myself this. Why haven't we got a Dynasty Warriors Night Gundam kit in the nearing 10 years that its debut came out?
It's a good question. I know they made 3 master grade from Dynasty Warriors. 2 they reprint very often. 1 I think only had 1 run.
The darker one, like the 2,
brown.
right?
Yeah.
That brown one? Yeah.
Yeah, because the red one gets reprinted all the time, and then the blue
Yeah.
one gets like once a year reprinted, but that brown one has gotten like one ever. So
Yeah. It's quite rare, eh?
Yeah.
No, yeah, the Musha Gundams you're talking about.
Yeah.
That Night Gundam. I mean, there's a number of different SD versions of that, but yeah, like the full-on, full-size version of it. Yeah, it would make for a cool kit. Even though I'm not really a big fan of the whole Night aesthetic, that would be a cool kit. Yeah, I'd like that. It is interesting why they haven't made that. Maybe someday.
Yeah.
Slav said, "Hey guys, love the shop and all you guys do at US Gundam Store. Glad to see the Calamity is available for pre-order, which I got, of course. Any news on when the RG Highnew Gundam will be released?
No idea.
Or
year.
the new IBO HG kit, the what's it called?
The not the Grimoire.
It's
right
right there.
G, right?
Yeah, it's right there on the tip.
Yeah. So obviously this year they'll be announced on what date. Let's just say they're announced in December, the pricing. They obviously won't get released till next year, but we know that we will get pricing and what date they're coming out sometime this year. So when they're actually in people's hands, no clue. Yeah, it's we still don't know when they're actually gonna start making them.
If I had to guess, I would say summer. So we already got now like photos for stuff that's coming out in June.
Yeah.
Like up to June. So July at the earliest. But after that, I would say probably July, August, somewhere around there, I would imagine, unless something else comes up. But
it might be. I know what Bandai's doing this year for us ordering anyways here in the States. They want we're going to be ordering a lot sooner for a lot longer out. I know, if I remember correctly, June and July we'll be ordering stuff for December. And it's this way so Bandai can actually know what they need to get to create the kits, and they're better prepared for that time of year. Because right now the demand has gone, sky high here, and they just weren't ready for it. So now they're trying to prepare more in advance, so they make sure they can fill everyone's orders.
That's good. Yeah, actually, I just remembered too that the Wing RG and the Eva Unit 6 RG, I think, are both coming out in June. So actually, for the Highnew, it would probably be a couple months later. They probably wouldn't release them back-to-back months, I would imagine. But
we might get the information then, though, but it might not come out to December if that's their plan. Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah,
sometime.
Yeah.
Bubble Snarf something said, "Will you make Resin Pisces and Cancer kits? I would buy them so fast."
I mean, I would not make them. We would try, if anyone made them, we would try to get them here to the States. But if someone else is very skilled at making resin molds, and
Henry did it. Yeah, back in the day. Yeah, I can't imagine that those would be conversion kits, though. I mean, because if they were conversion kits, like for the Leo, for example, they'd use like a couple of the joints, maybe, and probably not that much. But there's that. I know I've seen like a Virgo 2 resin conversion kit that does use the Leo, but yeah, it only uses like a couple of the parts, basically.
Right.
So it could be something like that. But yeah, I agree. It would be awesome if someone did make those. I mean, they're just kind of cool, just because they're so different. The grunts and the enemy grunts in Wing are very cool.
Yeah.
Ricky B said, "Any idea when the MG Wing Proto Zero or the older MG Wing Verka will be available?"
So I know the Proto Zero, we should get. They're making them. They're shipping them out this month, so we'll probably get them. Fingers crossed, the end of February, but odds are probably early March. What was the Verka one?
This one. Can you see this? You can't see that. This one.
Oh yeah, that one. That would be. I think those are actually shipped to us now, so we should have them within a week or so.
Yeah.
Yep. So.
The original Verka.
Yes.
Yeah, and it gets confusing with those wing kits. I hate it. Hate that. All right. Vellum said, "When is Kotobukiya finally going to ship the Soul Hornet reprints?"
That's a very good question that I don't have an answer for.
Has that reprint come out yet or not? I don't remember when.
So
that
they shipped us half of our order.
Okay.
And then the other half they told us would come at a later date. But then every time we asked, they're like, "Oh, next month, next month, next month." So yeah.
Okay. I know the reprints of the first two Make On My Device kits came out, because one of them I did pick up, because I had never built the first two. It's like the soldier, and one is the snipe and grapple, and one is another one, something anyway. The white ones where you can choose between kind of two different forms for them.
Right.
I know they were reprinting those, and then they're reprinting the Soul Hornet and Soul Roadrunner kits as well too. But I think those were later, after the first two reprints, but I could be wrong. Maybe I have it reversed. So I'm not even sure if those reprints are out in Japan yet. But I don't know. Thomas said, I saw you were featuring Zoidskits in a recent email. Are these Kotobukiya kits, and does this mean we will see Zoidskits in the US?
They are not Kotobukiya kits. I wish they were sometimes, but yeah. So it's I forget the name of the company, but it's obviously a Chinese company that is making them, and we are able to get some from them.
It's basically I haven't looked at it in detail to see like how different the design is. As far as I know, it's basically the same design, just scaled up. Yeah. And you know if they're planning on making any more different ones in the future, or like after the
I believe they are. I mean, they made the 3 different Liger versions, and they're making this, and I know this is doing really well for them. So I'm pretty sure
they made which ones? They made the ones that
like the ones
were based off of the figures, right? Not the kits, because they were ones that Kotobukiya hadn't made kits of, I think, right?
Yeah. They were like, they had like the big sword. I've watched Zoid a long time ago, and I don't really remember it. But I know they all had variants of different like blades on them, like the big swords. There weren't any ones with like the guns or anything.
Right. Okay, yeah, I remember those coming out. Because I think one is the Harut Liger, and I think that was the one that came out as a Zoid's aggressive figure that they made. Not as a kit, but just as a figure that you could get. So I thought that looked cool, because they're making an actual kit version of that. So that looked interesting, because I do like that design. But yeah. So no, it doesn't. So no Kotobukiya stuff still yet, unfortunately, but hopefully someday. Strange's Gumpala said, when will you guys be getting the Advanced Hazel back in stock? It said back order for January, so hoping soon.
They are shipped to us, so they're on their way.
And he said, also, any chance of getting the Gundam Artifact minis?
So I asked Bandai about that when they were, or Bluefin, when they were first announced, and they said they were not getting the first wave. I know that I don't know what I can say if there's going to be any other waves, but if there are other waves, we should hopefully get them. Because I know there's been a big demand for that first wave. I'm trying to get them to get the first wave still, but it's so far past the creation date of it, the manufacturing date, so I'm not sure if we're even going to be able to do a reprint of them.
Yeah, and that kind of stuff they usually don't reprint.
Right.
Yeah.
Which stinks, because, I mean, it's good stuff.
Yeah, and a lot of people have been asking about that, I know. So it is a shame, eh?
Yeah.
All right, Boom Cannon said, what kits were surprise sellers that sold out faster than expected?
The entry grade Pac-Man, I think, threw me off. I mean, just thinking about things recently, you think of like the real grade, Evas and all that stuff. That stuff's gonna sell, but I didn't think like the entry grade Pac-Mans would do as well as they did. Like, I didn't think the Judge pre-order that we put up the other day would sell as fast as it did. But that flew. We were able to get about 200 of them, and they were all gone that day. Yeah.
So that's not ones from the first run. They're doing a second run of that kit. Is that right?
No, these are ones from the first run. we were able to get the last few cases that they had left. Obviously, now that we're dealing more with these Chinese factories, kind of get weapon sets and hangar bases and stuff like that. We will not be carrying any like Gundam kits that are actually Bandai, property.
Yeah.
But the weapons kits and add-on parts and stuff like that we can get. So now that we're dealing more with these companies, they said, "Hey, we have these left over. They are going to be a little bit more expensive than when we first released them. But do you want them?" So I said, "Sure." So that's why they were a little bit more expensive, I think, than when they first got. But I mean, people still flew through those things. So
yeah, that's weird. They didn't like they're just because of the demand. That's why they were telling you it was more expensive.
Yeah, just because of the demand. I know that they might be making a second run. Fingers crossed they do.
Yeah, I'd heard that from June. Yeah, he said that.
Yeah, so we'll see.
So if you guys missed out, fingers crossed they'll make some more. So it seems like they know too that how successful it's been so far. So yeah, you'd think they'd want to maybe do another run of those, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they will, but you never know.
Fingers crossed. I got mine. I'll be working on the review on that for you guys here pretty soon. As soon as I can get around to that. Let's see. Dewhaven said, when will the new shipping cost take effect? And if so, will you proceed with a personal warehouse option so as to buy multiple orders to avoid extra charges per order?
What was the first part of that question? The new what take effect?
New shipping cost take effect. So is there a change to shipping costs coming?
I mean, we did a change in December, so it's a flat $9.99 rate, no matter what you order. But that's been in effect for a few months now. I know. So every January, the post office and FedEx raise their rates, but we are not raising our rates based on that. We get negotiated rates through those two carriers that help when they do those increases to where we don't have to push that on to our customers.
Anyway, and I mean, the second part of his question kind of related to that, but asking about the personal warehouse option, and we've talked about that before. People have asked about that, but
it's the personal warehouse stuff is hard on the platform our website's on. They don't really have that built in. It's something we're trying to do, so hopefully here in the future we can offer that. A lot of times too, the way our accounting works, so if you order from like HLJ is well known for that. They usually bill you when it comes in, and then they send you like a PayPal invoice, and then you pay it, and then it goes out. Whereas our billing system isn't set up that way. So when you order something, you pay for it right away. Versus you can order stuff from them, put it into a housing, and then wait before you're billed. We also don't have the facility to hold a bunch of orders. So that kind of plays into it too. We are getting a new warehouse built, so hopefully we'll have more room, and then we'll be able to allocate a few more resources to that.
Yeah. Or the demand will just keep growing and growing for more models, and you'll just have no room to do everything. Yeah, I mean, and I seems like that's even becoming a problem for HLJ as well too, because it's like I know for the past few months, for the past while, even like up to 6 months or something like that, it seems like they're always having like something about like trying to push some deals if you ship your orders, something. So it seems like they're trying to get people to ship their stuff out so they can make some space. So even for them, it seems to be becoming a problem. But as for some questions, if you guys are watching live right now, thank you for watching, of course. But hang on to your questions. If you guys want to ask questions live, hang on to those for a little while. We'll get to some live questions here a little bit later. But I just want to take this one here from Mike. It's related to the shipping we were just talking about. Mike asked, is it still $99 shipping, the flat shipping fee, if you, for example, just order the sticker packs?
Yes, it is $9.99 flat rate, no matter what you buy. So if you want to get something, like say a bottle of paint or something like that, I would add more on, because the more stuff you add, technically the cheaper per item it is to ship. So, but yes, it is a flat rate, $9.99, no matter what you're getting, unless you get the USA Gundam nippers, and then it's free shipping.
There you go. Okay. So let's see, where were we? Bubble Snarf asked, that's must be the same person. Can't be multiple people with the same Bubble Snarf. The name is a little bit different from before, but it's so close. Anyway, so when did you start your store?
7 years ago. I want to say it was, oh geez. So I used to work for Wells Fargo, and I still work there. And I worked there from 2000. Yeah, 7 years ago, maybe February, March. So that would be, what were we, 2021? 7 years is just, I mean, this month. So my math might be, is that 2004? No, that's 2014. 2014, yeah, not 2004. So yeah, so February 2014, I started on eBay, sold stuff on there, and then little by little just made our own website and kind of grew from there.
And quit your day job.
Yeah, that was a rough decision, but it worked out.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, it would be, especially like working in such a like an established job like that, like where you could just stay there like for the rest of your life, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah, man. Well, I know I just said that we're not going to take live questions at the moment, but there's a couple in here that I'll just get to because they're real quick and easy ones. Michael asked about HD Thunderbolt kits. They haven't printed them for a while, but they will print them again soon. At some point.
He might be talking to the manga versions. Might take a lot longer than the anime versions to get reprinted.
Oh, have they said if they are still going to make those at all? I was under the impression that once they made the anime versions, that they weren't going to be printing the anime manga boxes anymore.
So they've always reprinted stuff. They actually reprinted 2 years ago the oh geez, it was one of the Zakus. It wasn't the Psycho Zaku. It was the one with it was yellow. I think it was a Zaku 1. They did that manga reprint, and they had a anime version of it. So, I mean, I'm always under the impression that Bandai will reprint stuff. It just depends when. So it just might take a lot longer for those.
And then Dallas also asked, can we get an option for expedited shipping?
We've looked at that. If you do want expedited shipping, all you do just need to message us and email us, and then we'll send you a payment link for the difference in price. But right now, because we're kind of offering a flat $9.99 shipping, usually it will go in I don't know what he means by expedited. So like post office priority is technically an expedited service, whereas I guess FedEx Ground is not. But if he wants like next day shipping, I mean, your price goes up significantly. I mean, we're talking next day shipping, your price would be like $30-$40 for a package. So I don't know what expedited shipping he kind of wants.
That's funny. You think it's like $30-$40 for shipping, like that's a lot. But like for me, at first it didn't phase me at all, because I'm just thinking like shipping stuff from here to the US, that's kind of normal. Yeah. All right. Getting back to the YouTube community tab here, though, we'll take a few more and then we'll switch over to Instagram next. Josh said, what was a terrible experience you had with the kit, and did you leave the kit unfinished?
I don't know if I ever had any terrible experiences as far as, for me, if I'm building a kit and it's, say an older kit or a kit that just kind of isn't wow. It's still fun to build it because it's a little bit more of a challenge. Because there's always things you can do to make that kit better. If I were to say experiences, maybe losing pieces, and then you're like, crap, if you lost something that you need, and then now you got to buy a whole nother kit. Or I mean, you can go through Bluefin, but sometimes you're waiting months and months and months for something. Yeah, I guess that's kind of my answer to that. There's not really a kit that I've had, oh, I hate this thing, and then push it off to the side. Yeah.
That happened a little bit with me with the Tristan. I put that to the side for a long time. And it wasn't so much that I hated it, but I just kind of lost interest in it. And the part of the kit that I was working on at the time, I just didn't like how it was going. I was working on the modifications on the legs, and just wasn't working how I wanted it to. And so I just kind of put it away, and it was just not motivated to come back to it until people kept asking me about it all the time. So yes, I guess that's a good and bad point of having an audience like that.
Yeah.
And let's see, Music asked, when do you guys think the MG Virtue will be released?
I bet you that will get announced the same time as that real grade Highnew, I think. But again, I would say it will probably get announced mid-year, but I would suppose those would be kind of their December things, because they seem like the more bigger money-wise kits that got shown. I could be completely wrong, but those might be their kind of December kits that they kind of push out.
Well, we can put it to a bet. I would expect, my prediction would be that I think those kits are probably coming around August, September, late summer would be my guess, because it just seems like such a long time for them to be. I mean, they were shown, what was that, December? Well, we got our first look at them.
Yeah.
And to be coming out a year later seems quite long, but I mean, it's possible.
When they showed all those, it made me wonder, because there's always leaks and stuff like that on what kits are coming. If they just decide to show everything they're making this year, and then they'll just announce the pricing and stuff later on. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe they just showed the first half of the year. That's a complete possibility too, you know.
That's kind of what I got the sense of. But yeah, I mean, I had the same thought as well too. Maybe it's just kind of like the big releases from all throughout the year, and there'll be other stuff spread out in between, of course. Yeah. But like, so yeah, you could be right. But it's, you know, just based on like how they usually do things, it seems like probably it's more for like the first half of the year, I would imagine. But yeah. We shall see. Should we put it to a bet? It's going to be late summer or like late fall, beginning of winter.
Yeah. We can do that.
We'll get a poll going and online, and we'll see what people think about that. We'll see who people can say I was right later. All right, we'll take one more here from the community tab on YouTube. Here, what do you think will be the next Revive kit in the HGUC line?
That's a good question.
Number one, I don't think that it will be Revive because they've dropped that title. But I mean, Revive.
Remade, yeah.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, those titles when they say like Revive and then what was the other one that they had?
Gunpla Evolution Project.
Yeah, like Evo or Evolution. Those are just marketing campaigns. I don't. It would be nice for a gym. Because they've got that one, just a normal gym. They haven't remade that in a while. I mean, the kit's not significantly expensive, or I guess maybe needs one, but I can see that soon, maybe. Yeah,
it'd be cool if they would do just like a series, because you know how they kind of do them in series. Like right now, they're kind of doing like the wing mobile suits, the wing Gundams, like TV series Gundams. So they kind of do like a series of them sometimes. If they would do that of like some of the grunt suits from the 1 Year War, they do like a gym, and they've done a couple of them already. The Zeon ones, the Gelgoog and the Zaku 2, or not Gelgoog, sorry, the Goof and the Zaku 2. But yeah, if they made like a gym and then maybe a Gelgoog. And they do the gun cannon as well too, so they have done a number of them, I guess, already. So if they maybe finished some more of the 1 Year War mobile suits, a Gelgoog would be really cool. We were talking about that on the stream this morning or yesterday morning in my live stream. Nice. That a Revive Gelgoog would be nice. But yeah, that would be, so I guess that would be my thing that I'll say for that as well too. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I don't know. I would not be surprised if they would make some sort of revive unicorn HG kit at some point.
I can see that.
Yeah, not that old, and really, I mean, honestly, I think that HG unicorn looks great. Obviously, it doesn't transform. I don't think they would try to make it transform. I think probably they would just update the engineering of the kit in general. Basically, would be the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's got its weak points for sure, and I think probably that's what they would try to tackle with it. But in general, like the looks of it and proportions and everything, it looks really nice, I think. All right, heading to Instagram here. Lynch MS said, "Do you guys have plans to get more tools branded USA Gundam?"
Yes.
Yes.
So you had so some that are coming are the tweezers that you had. We are getting like the leather sleeves for the nipper, which I have a prototype of it here.
That's going to be something sold separately or to be packaged with future with the nippers.
Right now, it'll be sold separately. Our next not I won't say reprint, but next time we get a batch made of the nippers, we'll look at having this included. It'll raise the price of it, so I'm not sure if that's something that would be warranted. I mean, they come with that kind of plastic cap. I don't know. I don't know if people really care enough about it. You know what I mean? What other tools? So there's other stuff coming. There's other detail parts, like you got those lenses. So we'll be selling those in every single color that they make. Yeah, we're still waiting on those detail parts to come in. So different things like that.
I was so surprised. I went to use one of those detail parts and I pulled out, and they're like soft. Did you know that?
Yeah, it's a different kind of filament. He was saying, but I guess other companies have had a bunch of them breaking and being too brittle, so they switched to that filament when making those. So we'll see how it goes.
I'll show you guys. Yeah, it's I was using a couple on the GPO2, so just to show you guys these guys here. But yeah, oops, well, the whole thing. No, they're that seems like kind of a break point for that, but anyway, they're softer like that, not like a polycap material or something, but yeah, it's definitely a softer resin. And so yeah, I asked June about it. I was like, hey, did you know that these were like that? He said, yeah. June is who makes the Simpro products and who helps with these too. Yeah, he said that he did some experimenting to basically find the best way to make them the most resilient, but also getting the best detail. And the detail on them is super sharp. I don't know if you guys could see in my video, and like you'll see me working with them more in the future. But the detail is really super sharp on them. But yeah, it just kind of caught me off guard, just when they were just kind of soft like that at first.
Yeah.
But no, as long as they detail is sharp and they take paint and all that, then they'll be fine. So it's all good. Don't let the fact that I just snapped the whole thing in front of you cause for any concern. That was not actual pieces. Yeah. All right. Chris Pabs asked if you could change something about the new Gunpla products, about how Gunpla. Sorry, let me take that again. If you could change something about how Gunpla products were sold here on this side of the world, what would it be?
That's a good question, and there's different answers that are going through my head. So one, Bandai's done a very good job of getting our feedback and what we recommend and things that help us as companies receive stuff easier. The one thing I really wish, though, that they would do, so when we get pallets in, and there is a company that does this, that Bluefin, it's not Bluefin. And Bluefin will sporadically write on the box. So we'll get a pallet of different stuff in, and there'll be boxes. In the boxes, it'll have what's supposed to be in that box. But if it's a mixed box, you might get one out of the 50 mixed boxes that will say mixed. Other companies put a different color tape on that box. It just, I know this is like really out there logistics, and probably not what he meant, but yeah. So if Bluefin's listening, please put different color tape, because you'll get, you're putting stuff away. You think one thing's a master grade Strike Gundam, really it's a whole bunch of high grade. Barbados is Vidars in there, and now you're trying to find that stuff. And you have no idea where it is because they didn't mark the box or put a different color tape on it. So that's aggravating. But as far as selling Gundam here in the States, I mean, I don't really have an answer for that. I mean, I think they're doing a good job with their strategy, if that makes sense. I know like the whole virus thing has kind of boosted up the demand for it, but they have initial strategy of putting small amount of SKUs into bigger stores. So you've seen them in Barnes and Noble. You've seen them in, I think Target has like 3 or 4 different ones now. Hobby Lobby has a few different ones. So those are stores that are designed to get people to see the kits. People that have no idea about Gundam or Gunpla at all, see them, buy them. Okay, these are awesome. They end up buying all of them that Target has. Well, now they want other ones. They go online, they go to hobby shops, and those are the people that will have a vast more variety of SKUs than those big box stores. It protects Bandai from what Toys R Us did to them. They gave Toys R Us a whole bunch of SKUs. Toys R Us dumped them, and then no one bought from anyone else because they could just buy them from Toys R Us, pennies on the dollar. So it protects from that. Those stores deciding they don't want to carry it anymore and clearing everything out, and then no one buying from everyone else. And it gets more people into the hobby. So as far as marketing and business plan for growing the hobby, I think that's been pretty solid. I do wish the pricing was a little bit better. It's because you'll see the yen price, and then the dollar price sometimes doesn't equal out to what it should be. That happens occasionally, but not very often. And then you got to consider all the logistics that go into it.
Yeah, sure.
So it's a good question, and I guess there's a lot of different little things that you could do. Like I wish Bandai had commercials, but right now they don't have the ability to meet the demand that there is right now. So if they're throwing out more commercials and stuff like that, the demand will grow even more, and they'll be even they'll be less able to provide for that demand. So
yeah, I wonder if they I don't know which would be worse, if they let someone in the US make the commercials again like they did before, which apparently like Bandai hated, or if they just did Japanese ones and then tried to. I mean, Japanese commercials are also kind of cringy too. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, they can. Yeah, I mean, they can hopefully get better companies, and maybe. I mean, you can do commercials and show them to people and see what people say, but don't show them to people that don't know anything about Gunpla. Show them to people that know Gunpla, and then as your
maybe not really relevant for the current state of affairs. It's not really possible, but once the like expos are started to be going like different Comic-Con and things like that, I think maybe more of Bandai's investment into representation at events like that.
Yeah, they were starting to do that a lot with Bluefin. Bluefin was going all over the place, and they had like the 40th anniversary thing, I believe, there in San Diego. Or was it? Yeah.
They had a pop-up
booth,
right?
So, I mean, I know they're doing a lot more. They were doing a lot more at conventions, and the conventions kind of fell apart.
Yeah. I would say, too, hopefully they start bringing more of the candy toy stuff to be available for you guys in the U.S. as well. Like we were talking about the artifact stuff and Converge stuff. And, I mean, what else is still going? Ensemble, everything else. They G-Frame. all that stuff.
I know that they were talking about it, and I know so Bandai US gets all the Gashapon and Candy Machine stuff, but they weren't bringing in, like they started bringing in some of the Gundam, the Exceed heads, but then they stopped doing that. But I think with me and a few other stores kind of pushing for Bluefin to take that over, I know they talked to me about it, about being able to carry more of that, but I haven't seen anything yet, so I'm not sure where that actually went.
Yeah. We'll just move on to the next question here. GeoBuilds had a kind of similar question anyway. He said, in what ways would you like to see this hobby grow here in the US? I guess kind of like what we're already talking about, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess it's a little different because it's actually grow. One, I just hope we get back to being able to sit next to each other. Sure. I think that's always a fun thing to do, to be with other people that build and enjoy the hobby as much as we do. As far as growing the hobby, I mean, just more, I guess, groups, if that makes sense. I mean, there's plenty of groups now. It'd be cool to have like I don't know. I guess there's not really much more to that answer that question. Because you can only do so much on what to do to grow it versus what happens when it grows. Obviously more positivity, make sure people are positive in the Facebook groups and different groups like that. It'd be cool to see, because you look at like the Japanese Twitter for people that, not Japanese Twitter, but Twitter with Japanese builders, there's a lot more stuff on there. They're doing different things. Not to say that US people here aren't, but having, I guess, the more it grows here, the more we're going to get more skilled builders. Does that make sense? And so we'll get more things out of that, more cool designs, more custom builds. It's just a lot newer here, so you're not going to have a lot of those skill sets in people yet.
I was just going to say that. I was going to say, I think probably a lot of like the really high level builders and just like the medium high low builders you're seeing on Twitter, like the Japanese ones, they've probably been building for 20-30 years, right? I think probably like the average length here, or like, well, there in the West, in America, is probably 10 years of like serious building. Would be probably someone who's been in the hobby for a while. So I think that's a big factor of it as well too, of course. But I think what would be cool, like local groups doing like local meetups. That's something that's cool. Like it's basically like what you're talking about, but like what they do in Japan, you can see on Twitter, they have like get-togethers where they'll just get together, like rent a room or something like that, get together and just bring all their stuff. And it's not they don't have like a contest or anything. It's just to get together and just check out everyone's work. Nice. So stuff like that, would be cool. I'm Patrick asked, who was a previous winner, what's your favorite P Bandai Gundam kit?
My favorite P Bandai Gundam kit? That's a good question too. So I really like my White Dingo GM Sniper 2. I mean, that's just kind of a recoloration. So let's go with a kit that hasn't really been done. I like my Master Grade Power GM. I like that a lot. I never thought that I'd see a Master Grade of that kit. So that's cool. The Zaku, the newer one is that Zaku Slash Master Grade. I like that, and I did enjoy that a lot. I remember when I first started building, I built the Red Frame Astray, I built the Infinite Justice 1/100 no grade, and then I built the Zaku Blaze 1/100 no grade. If I remember, I think it was a Blaze. And I remember seeing the Slash in pictures online. I'm like, oh man, I can't wait for that to come out. And then 7 years later, finally got it. So so that one I like a lot. But
for me, anything Advanced Zeta, I love those kits. The Hazen Play, it's a really awesome kit. The Stormbringer was really awesome too. That was a really nice one. And just today, actually, it's over there. The new Stormbringer FA kit as well too. Also, what was the other one I was gonna say? The Ifrit Noct was one that I really loved. The HG Ifrit Noct, not really special for any particular reason. It just looks great. It's a really nice looking kit. Super cool. Really love that one. Yeah, there's a lot of great P Bandai kits out there. Unfortunately, they're P Bandai, but it's a lot of good ones. Mekatofu said, Zach, any chance you'll do a reboot of the Gunpla building series? Yes, that's something I've been wanting to do for a while. I promise I will get to that. Basically, where the first old Gunpla building series that I did was centered around painting with spray cans, but I want to do a new one that's centered around painting with airbrush. So yeah, I will do that. And I think that was basically the extent of his question. He was just saying that it really got him started into the hobby and wondering if he'll do start to finish on a bunch of modeling custom painted. Yes. So yes, I will be working on that more in the future. Let's see. Draco Meister said, if a Gundam show was to be adapted to a live action film, which one do you believe would be an ideal series to adapt to a movie and one you would love to see? And he said for him it would be G Gundam because it would be the easiest compared to something like Pacific Rim or something.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, they're making a Gundam series, or not series, they're making a Gundam movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm assuming that's just going to be from the original Gundam show.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I would just say Unicorn, because it's the series as it is already quite cinematic. I feel like, but it would be hard because you would need some good background information about like the UC universe. I guess probably. I mean, probably if they were to do it, they would do like a couple minutes intro of like what do they call it? I'm just drawing a blank now. Well, that's called where they give you like all the just spoon feed you the background information you need for something. I'm forgetting what in film. Anyway, they would probably just do that. To be honest, I don't know if that. I mean, like for Gundam fans, I think it would still be fine, and we could still enjoy the movie. It's just kind of a shame if they were to do that for non-Gundam fans. But what else would be good? I mean, Thunderbolt as well. Just kind of Expedition. Thank you, Clay. Expedition. Yes. They would have just a bunch of exposition at the beginning. Anyway, Thunderbolt as well too would be good, kind of for the same reason.
Yeah, I think it'd be easier for them to make like a 1 year war movie, just because the amount of CGI you probably would need wouldn't be way less than if you had stuff in space and stuff like that. Not to say we don't have space movies, but I don't know what their budget is either for. Is it like a high budgeted movie, or is it a decent budgeted movie, and then that's going to reflect what we actually see on the screen?
And it depends on how, like, which way they'd want to go with it, how dark they would want to make it.
Yeah.
Or light. I mean, obviously, I think probably they would go the route of like Pacific Rim or like Ready Player One, where kids can watch it, but there's nothing too dark or too violent about it, really. Like there's some action, but like still kids can enjoy it. I'm sure it'd be the way they would go with that. So whereas if they did make it kind of a bit more serious, I think they could make it a lot more interesting as a live action film, but got to do it for the kids. So the Galimadas Not sure how to read that, but he said, missed my chance to get the Zero Gravity Judge kit, but I was still super stoked. Is getting third-party stuff like that going to become a recurring thing?
As for right now, yes. Yeah, like I said before, any like if it's a weapons kit, if it's a hanger, if it's something that can get added onto a Gundam, we will do that. If it's its own thing, like that it was the Judge is its own design, we'll definitely carry those. So yeah, I mean, we definitely have a decent, good outlet to get that stuff at pretty decent prices. So yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I think it seemed like for a while that there wasn't a lot of stuff coming out like in that vein of that kind of stuff from China.
Yeah.
It seems like that, and I'm sure it had to do with the pandemic, probably, but
yeah,
it's kind of ramping up again now. So then there's some cool stuff coming out. Jay Brown said, since they've been released, which do you think will have better longevity and possibility more annual style releases between the Master Grade Extreme and the Perfect Grade Unleashed lines?
Which do I think we'll have more of?
Yeah, which line do you think will last longer, the longevity of it, and possibility for annual releases? So, I mean, yeah, like the frequency of releases and stuff.
I think the Unleashed line, I don't think that's really a line. I think it's just a marketing campaign for that Perfect Grade. So I would say, I would say Unleashed is not really a line. So I would have to say Master Grade EX.
Yeah.
If that's a line, I mean, we'll see here. And if it is a line, they might make one a year, I would think. I don't think it'd be like the Perfect Grade, I would assume. But again, I'm not sure if that's really going to be a line or if that was just kind of a one and done kind of thing as well.
Yeah. I was just talking about that on the live stream, I think this morning too. Someone asked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Perfect Grade Unleashed is probably just a one-time thing. Yeah, Master Grade Extreme, like you said, does seem like there's going to be more of them in the future, but annual, I think, is going to be a stretch. Probably biannual would be a better guess.
Maybe. I mean, they've pushed out a Perfect Grade a year now for the last 2-3 years.
That's true. So, that's true.
We'll see.
Gucci 2 times said, what is your favorite way to remove nub marks from pieces? Sanding, hobby knife, or filing? ? Combination of all three? ?
What was the question again? I'm sorry, Zach.
Favorite way to nub removal?
Oh, I like the glass files.
Yeah.
I definitely am liking glass files a lot right now. So that's how I've been doing it lately. So I would say that's my favorite way right now.
Yep. For me, just cut with nippers and then shave away the nub with a hobby knife. And at least just for like initial snap building stuff for reviews, that's usually about the extent of it. Usually don't need to do a lot of sanding. I can get it, get the nubs gone from sight well enough with just the knife. But if I'm preparing a kit like to paint, then I will go in and do some more sanding. I don't use a metal file for nub removal, and I've talked about this before. That freaks me out. I don't understand how people can do that. The file is way too rough, in my opinion, but some people do it. So I don't know. Yeah, it can be done. I wouldn't advise it, but I mean, it works for some people, so it can work for you if that's what you want to do. It seems overkill, in my opinion.
Yeah. I saw Chris asked if those were armored Komodo paints, and they are. They should be up on the site soon. So, yeah.
There you go. Yeah, they're coming out with some new products and stuff. I'm in the group chat for like the development of those products, and I don't really pay very close attention to it, so I'm sorry to say, but I know they're working on stuff, some new products and stuff.
Nice.
Basically, I just wait around until they're gonna say, "Hey, we're gonna send you some stuff to try out," and then I'll be okay.
Yep.
Elias asked, any new weapons or accessories that you'll be releasing for model kits? I'm talking about items like the King Sword Dragon.
Yeah, I would assume that they would be made, and if they're made, then we'll carry them. We don't make those, so there's factories in China that make those. So they make.
Hey, do you know if you'll be getting that? What's it? Tekkaman Blade kit?
That
Do you know about that?
just got shown, right? Was that the one that we just, or has this been a while?
It just recently came out, I think. I think that's made. I don't remember who it's made by, but a couple people have been asking me about it. I'd seen it and I thought, yeah, it looked kind of cool, but a couple people have been asking me about it if I'm going to be reviewing it or not. I think it's also a Chinese-made kit as well too. Orange Cat, there you go. Chris Pep said so. It'd be similar to that. Like I think those are like made in collaboration with Wave. The Orange Cat kits usually. There was that one. What was that one? That female character one that they made last year. Forget the name of it.
Oh,
the Cat 01.
Yeah, this is the Bandai one. Is that what they're talking about?
No, it's not Bandai.
Oh, it's not Bandai. No.
Yeah.
I'll find out. It is. No, they had this. This is Bandai.
And maybe it's something different or something.
It's a Chinese release only. Yeah. And it's got the Sotsu logos on it, which is Bandai. But I don't know if Bandai Hobby. I don't see their logo. But Sotsu's is on there. I'll find out.
Okay, just wondering. No one had it. I'm kind of surprised that we haven't seen a question about that yet, actually, because I know it's, I think, just been released. I believe. I think people are starting to get it. So
yeah, and it's
kind of similar to the Judge, where like it was coming out and there was some interest, but now that it's out and like people are starting to get it, there's growing interest in the kit. Now that we're seeing other people building it.
Yeah, I'll find out. It's interesting because it is a model kit. I guess Orange Cat Industry is the manufacturer, but it's got the Sotsu. No one knows Sotsu is a Bandai affiliate. It's got their copyright stuff on there, so I don't know if maybe they licensed it out to them.
And that must just be the like the anime that it's made by. So yeah, kind of like the Iron Man kits just being licensed by Marvel, right?
Yeah, it's possible.
Just produced in China. Okay, let's see. Jay Rivera said, "Will you allow your followers to share on USA Gundam's IG their local, their Gunpla building desk room setups, other than watching how people are creative with Gunpla? Love to get ideas from how other people get creative with organizing their stations."
Yeah, I mean, that's a cool idea. We can always do something like that. I mean, I know our blog on the USAGundamStore.com site, we're getting up and going, so we'll be able to submit builds and stuff on there, which would be kind of cool.
Okay. Yeah.
People can submit their workstations maybe too.
Yeah, that's always interesting to see too.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. All right. Nubiscus said, any updates on the Kotobukiya Evangelion 13? It said January backorder. Now it says February.
I think they're on their way. Let me check. Let me check here.
Or is that among the Kotobukiya stuff that's forever next month?
No, because that got shipped to me, I believe, already. I think it was supposed to come out, and then we were supposed to get it in January, which means it shipped to me in January. It just is on its so they should be here in about a week or so. Yep.
Cool. All right. Nomad here was asking, it looks in one of Zach's latest videos, it looked like he was previewing some Zeta 3 decals. That'd be the video where I got a big bunch of decals from Simp. And are they really coming, and when can we expect them? So all them decals.
Yeah, all the decals Zach got, we will have here soon. Zach just got lucky enough to get a lot of stuff
first.
before. Yeah.
I counted because I thought in like the big stack of them, I thought, man, there must be like 50 or something, but I counted and it's like closer to 150.
Yeah.
And they're all different. So it's pretty crazy. There was one, like, especially that was kind of like the most surprising for me, that it was like a special set for the unicorn, the Billy Billy set, which it was like some collaboration thing that Bandai put out. And it's something that I think maybe I saw once a while back. But anyway, it's just kind of this like obscure version of the unicorn kit that they put out. But amongst all those decals, there's like 3 or 4 different color versions of like that decal set for the unicorn, like to make a Billy Billy custom version of that. So I thought that was pretty wild. Yeah, there's a lot there. So I'm pretty set for decals for a while. Juan said, when will there be restock of 00 Gundam kits and Build Divers re-rise for the weapons?
Within the next 2 months. We're getting a whole bunch of stuff here at the end of February and into March and then April. And then they hopefully have readily, because we're getting our containers back again. So December and January, they stopped shipping out containers directly to us, and we had to wait on Bluefin to get it and ship it to us. And that just has to do with their capacity. I believe they're ramping up their capacity, and we are supposed to be getting our containers again starting the end of this month and then throughout the rest of the year. So we'll be getting larger restocks then, instead of having to scrounge around what Bluefin has in their warehouse to get to us, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yep. There's a couple other questions here about other kind of restock things, but I want to get one more here from Instagram, and then we'll take some from the Facebook page as well too. Well, here's one maybe that could be interesting. We Belong said, what is an unpopular / controversial Gunpla opinion you have?
G Gundam sucks.
It catches me off guard every time.
Yeah.
I get blindsided by that. Just not expecting it. Such a horrible statement.
It's such a horrible show.
I don't know. A lot of things. I'll just pull out something random and say that I don't like seeing a lot of people just like by default painting gun barrels in like titanium or silver color or something like that. I don't know. It says one kind of random tiny pet peeve that I just don't really like the look of it. A lot of people do it, but I don't like it. Anyway, but a lot of things I guess we could say, but there's something off the top of my head. Let's switch to Facebook here, take a handful of questions, and then we'll get a handful of questions from you guys live as much as we can, and then we'll get to the giveaway here in just a minute. Rob said, I airbrush with Vallejo acrylics and have tried multiple gloss top coats to Panaline and can't seem to find one that holds up to clean up. Any suggestions?
So let me just make sure I understand. He uses Vallejo acrylics and they're not holding up to cleanup.
It seems like he's
maybe
using the acrylics and then using gloss coat, but he didn't say what type of gloss coat. I would assume it's probably a spray can, so it'd be lacquer, acrylic lacquer gloss coat. Yeah. And then I think he's asking about what
cleaning
it sounds like
like cleaning up panel lines.
Yeah, it sounds like maybe when he's trying to clean up his panel lines, it's just like making a mess or something. It doesn't sound like from the question that he's having a problem with it affecting the paint. It's just that the panel line cleanup is kind of messy or something.
So if he's using a spray can, so it would be lacquer for the top coat, which shouldn't have a problem at all if he's using even the Tamiya panel line stuff,
Mm-hmm.
or making his own.
Mm.
I don't know without seeing what's happening.
Yeah, it depends on the method. One thing that I'll just say, and I was actually talking about this this morning as well. I guess talked about a lot this morning. You live stream for 3 hours, but because someone asked a question about panel line cleanup or how long it should dry. But like for the Tamiya accent color, whether you're using that or you're using your own mix of basically just thinned enamel paint, you need to give it enough time to dry before you try to clean it up. If you lay that on there and then try to clean it up straight away while that's still wet, it's just going to be messy. You need to give that enough time to dry first before you go in to clean that up. So probably at least 30 minutes or an hour, but a little bit more than that would probably be good if you can wait a little while. But I find usually, especially for like a high grade, maybe not, but if you know you have a lot of parts you're working on, you can kind of just go through all the parts in order. And by the time you get done laying in all the panel lining, then you can go back to like the first part and start your cleanup. That's usually enough time because it takes a little while to just get all the panel lining in on all the parts first. And so if that takes you about a 30 minutes or an hour or so, then you should be good to start going back. If not, then just wait a little bit. Hopefully that would work. If you're using like a pen or something for your panel lining, then that dries pretty quick, and I can't imagine what the issue necessarily would be. It could be also what you're using to clean up as well too. If you're using, I would recommend using lighter fluid. Again, if you're using those paint types, I think, if you're using just the markers, like just the Gundam markers, like the ones for panel lining, those you can just like basically wipe away. Can you, like, just with your finger or like?
Yeah, they've got an eraser marker that you can use too. But you should be able just to rub those pretty much off. Even yeah. So I think to say for sure, Rob, I think we would need some more details about that, but hopefully that helps. JT Jones said, "What is one kit you've always wanted but can't or haven't gotten it?" You're asking the wrong people that question. Yeah, that's unfortunately.
Adam's got a store, and I basically got a store too. So
yeah, I mean, the only thing I could think of would be some old maybe resin kits that came out a long time ago, or dress up kits that I just didn't snag, and now they're gone. There was a GMG resin. I don't even know. GMG's old. I don't know if you know who they are, but
it doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah, look at when you get a chance. They made a Highnew resin. It was a full kit. And I saw one time. It was like $300, and I didn't grab it. I mean, it's expensive. That's why I didn't grab it. But then I've never seen one since. So, but as far as like Bandai kits, unfortunately, not unfortunately, I can pretty much get most stuff that I want, from them. So
I mean, there's kits that exist, like just regular Bandai kits that I like and I would like to build someday, but I just haven't ever gotten them. Like the Proto Zero is one that I've talked about recently. It was MD Proto Zero. It looks cool. I've never actually bought one or built one, but I'm sure I will someday. For an example, if you have the chance, would you ever want to actually buy one of the 1/35 scale XS kit, the gigantic like $2,000?
Yeah, I guess that's a kit.
Kit.
Yeah, I guess you could say that, because I've looked at those, and there's been people that have sold them on Facebook groups, but for some reason I just never seem to be able to get one. Like there was a store giving one away in Texas. They were closing, and I reached out to him and said, "I'll take it," and he wouldn't give it to me because I wasn't in Texas. And I told him I will pay for the shipping. I will drive there and pick it up. Yeah, and he didn't want to do it. So he said,
"Dang,
yeah,
that's crazy." Well, should we get one and I'll paint it up for a display for the new the new showroom and the new warehouse.
We could do that. We could.
Mm,
They're very
that'd be
expensive.
fun.
Yeah, they are.
It's one of those things that, like, yeah, it'd be crazy to work on, but I mean, it's just so big. Where are you gonna put something like that?
Yeah.
But like, if we had a place to put it, I mean, it'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
All right. Will you be stocking the MG Barbatos Aether resin conversion kit? John asked.
Maybe if I can get them.
Mm.
It's harder to get resin kits than it is to get
Yeah.
stuff.
Yes, just for anyone who doesn't know, and the main reason for that is because resin kits are just produced in much fewer amounts.
Right.
They, if a company is making a plastic kit, they'll make a few thousand, but if they're making a resin kit, they'll probably make a few hundred.
Right.
So they don't get produced in the same amount. So, J Pop said, "Do you need to buy both versions of the Razor, or will the USA Gundam Store version remove gates just fine by itself?"
So the USA Gundam one is wider and shorter. They both are the exact same bottom rubbings, if that makes sense. The bottom grit, even though it's not really a grit, I guess.
Yeah. The filing surface.
Yeah, thanks. So one with the Razor, it's skinnier and longer. The USA Gundam one or the Razor Plus one is shorter and fatter. So it just kind of depends on what you like to hold, or if you want both to go into different areas. Kind of just depends on your feel, if that makes sense. But they're the same thing.
Yeah. And the USA Gundam Store one also comes with it's also like a set coming with the buffer and the cloth as well too.
No. So if you get the set one, you'll get the Razor, the buffer, or the balancer, and then the microfiber cloth type thing that comes in it. If you can get the Razor by itself, but the USA Gundam one is just it by itself. So if you want all the others, you can buy those separately.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
John said, "What are the chances of getting an MG Mermaid Gundam in the future?"
MG Mermaid?
Zero.
Oh.
From G Gundam.
No, probably not anytime.
Yeah. Negative 0, or like negative 50%, negative 100%. Never. You'd be lucky. I mean, I would put it at like 2% chance that someone someday will make a resin conversion kit to make that. That'd be as close as you're ever going to get, but even that's probably pretty far off.
Yeah.
Will you have any masking tape sheets available in the coming months? I want to try doing digital camo. So
yes. Yeah, we'll actually have digital camo masking sheets too.
And then we also have just a blank sheet as well too, that people can cut their own stuff as well.
Yep.
There you go. All right. Alex said, "Will you guys be offering stickers separately? I already have all the ones I wanted from the second sticker pack except the Messer." So like he's asking, maybe he just only wants to buy the one.
So the answer to that is probably no. It would just be in a pack. You'd have to buy the pack or get a kit during that month that is there, if that makes sense. I know sometimes if they run out of the current month sticker, they will use what we have. So if you could possibly, fingers crossed, get one, but that's very probably not likely. Odds will not be in your favor for that.
Just get a sticker pack and give your doubles to a friend or something. Split the cost with your friend. If you have a friend that's also into it and maybe hasn't got the stickers, just share the cost so you can just get the one that you want. Aaron asked, any idea when the RG Highnew will be available? We talked about that.
Yeah.
Travis said, can you guys stock Bandai kits?
So we do in our storefront. We do not put them online anymore because you should get them from the Bandai US site when they go up for pre-order. And then we used to put them on the site, and before it would take forever to get them because we'd have to get them from Japan. But we order them like everyone else from retail at retail price from the USP Bandai site. And obviously, we mark the price up because we have to make money. So you'll be better off getting them in that off the USP Bandai site. If you direly want one that you missed out, you are more than welcome to email us. We can see if we have it in there, and we can do it that way. Yeah, but
there you go. Yeah, I mean, you guys have it now available through the P Bandai site there for America. So
yeah,
use that. Sam had, let's see, a quick question on the Judge. He was able to get his pre-order in on the Judge, but do you know when that's coming?
I want to say April. What did we have it for? I exited out of my thing.
Huh.
Yeah, I want to say
soon anyway.
Yeah, it's so they're obviously it's Chinese New Year right now, so they're not shipping anything out until the end of February, like early March, pretty much, and then it'll take about a month to get here. So that's what I'm saying. April, yeah, April. Yeah.
Austin said, "When will you have the US Gundam knife blade replacements for sale?"
Soon. They're being made right now, so soon.
Jason asks, so when you're going to restock E7 as well as Gaia paints?
So E7 is on its way, and hopefully will be here within this month. Gaia, we are waiting for the distributor to get their restock. Yep.
Do you think we'll get other wing grunt suits as HGs? And what about future IBO MG releases?
I don't know if we will anytime soon get grunt suits. I think the next one probably will be the Ultron, right?
Oh yeah, for the Gundams.
Yeah, as far
the
as
Shenlong TV version, Shenlong.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that one's probably the next wing high grade we'd get. So I don't see a grunt suit maybe next year, but I'm sure they'll make a master grade IBO kit. I'm sure it's coming and on the way. I mean, the Barbados has done extremely well. I don't see why they wouldn't.
Yeah, no doubt. IBO MG is bound to happen. Yeah, other wing grunt suits. Yeah, I would also say probably not likely anytime soon. I mean, you never know, but if I had to guess what it would be, I would say maybe Ares. Probably.
Yeah, that's a good guess.
Aside from the Leo, that probably had the most screen time. It'd either be that or possibly the Taurus or Virgo, but probably the Aries is what they would end up making, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Any of those I'd be happy with, but it's hard to say. If they keep up their kind of trend of doing the simple HG grunt suits, the Dagger L is the next one that's coming up.
Yeah.
And after that, I mean, they could go back to wings. So I don't know. I hope they will still continue that trend though, because like the Leo, the Death Army, the Windom, and the Dagger L, I mean, they've all been pretty solid kits. So
yeah.
Let's see. Is there an estimated date for the tweezer set that I showed in my video? Jason asked.
Probably this month. When we get them, we'll put them right on the site. But I'm assuming it'll be this month. They're with the blade replacements. So,
Is it going to be a set of like the two different tweezer types together, or they're going to be like just the one type or the other?
I think it's just the one type or the other, if I remember correctly.
It'll be sold separately, the straight type and the kind of angled type.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Catherine said, I've been wanting to get into airbrushing, but it's been kind of overwhelming. What kind of setup would you recommend for someone just getting started? Good question.
So an airbrush setup, I mean, you don't need to go and spend a whole bunch of money. I mean, there's tons of stuff. Give me 1 second, Zach. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Thanks.
Yeah. I'll give you my answer on that. This is something I've addressed a number of times because people ask this for pretty regularly during my live streams and stuff. But yeah, I would say number one, don't be too intimidated by it, because once you get started, you'll realize it's not as scary as it seems. It just seems overwhelming at first because you have to think about all these things, air pressure and thinning ratio and all this stuff. It seems scary, but it's really not. Once you get into it, it's pretty straightforward, and you'll be very glad you did. It's I think probably the best, most convenient, and most versatile way of painting. I mean, there's a lot of great things you can do with hand painting as well too, but I mean, there's the ability to mix paints, and your paint usage is so much more efficient as well too. You're not wasting as much paint as when you use spray cans, things like that. So there's a lot of positives to it. But yeah, like Adam was just kind of saying there, you don't need to spend a ton of money to get a good setup going, but I also would not recommend getting the absolute dirt cheapest thing you can find either. If it's something that you're pretty set on wanting to do, if you're sure that you're going to want to be painting kits for a while, spend a little bit of money on it. So I'd say probably to get a good setup going, you want a pretty good airbrush and a pretty good compressor. And there are certain things like that I would recommend. As far as like the airbrush goes, kind of the most usual type airbrush that you would want to get would be a gravity feed double action airbrush. Single action can be okay, but most people would use a double action. And basically what that means is that double action means you can control the air pressure, and you can also control the amount of paint that's flowing into the airbrush at the same time. It just gives you a little bit better control. And gravity feed just means it's got the cup on the top of the airbrush. So, I mean, that's pretty much the most common. Most people who are painting Gunpla are painting with that kind of airbrush, and so it's just the most common type. So if you're looking for anything related, it's going to be that pretty much. As far as the compressor goes, I would recommend getting something with a tank. Not necessary, and it's going to be a little bit more expensive compared to something without a tank, but I think also probably better to have a tank. But also you want to make sure it's got a regulator and also a moisture trap. Kind of depends on where you live, what kind of your weather environment you're in, but I think just probably a good idea just to have one with a moisture trap on as well too. So tank, regulator, moisture trap. Again, these are pretty common things. Almost any airbrushing compressor you're going to be looking for, those things are probably going to be standard on almost anything. But like if you're looking around for cheaper options, they might not have that stuff, in which case I would maybe avoid getting something that doesn't have those three things. But so I mean, just the airbrush and the compressor in total probably going to cost you then, I mean, for a decent one, at least $150, maybe around $200. I think for a good, decent one, at least for to get you started. Then, of course, you're probably going to want, I would definitely recommend having some sort of ventilation as well, too. So some sort of spray booth, whether it be one that you buy, and there are pretty cheap ones that you can buy, or making one yourself, and you can make one yourself for pretty cheap as well, too. So kind of you can go either way on that, but probably that's going to cost you around $50, give or take, for that, for just something simple, for some simple ventilation. It depends on what type of paint you're using. If you're only using acrylic paints, people will say you don't really need that quite so much with acrylic paints, but I would still recommend it just so you don't have that dust around. But yeah, respirator, yes, of course, definitely. A couple people saying that in the chat. Respirator, yes. Respirator, the mask, you need a proper one. That as well too. But I mean, that's $10 or something. Shouldn't cost you all that much. 15, $20 max. I don't know how much they go for actually, but not that expensive. And then the paints, of course. So it all sounds like a lot at first, but it's so much cheaper in the long run. I mean, once you got the startup, once you're started with all this stuff at first, you don't really spend that much money as you're going along, because bottles of paint last longer than spray cans. You get more out of them, and they cost less. So like one bottle of paint versus one can of Tamiya spray paint, for example, this is not counting like automotive spray paints, which you can get for like dirt cheap. But like if you get like proper modeling paint spray cans, they'd be like $7-8 for a can or something. where it's like $3-4 for a bottle of like Mr. Color paint for your airbrush or something like that, for example. It's much more cost efficient in the long run. So, yeah. Hey, Adam.
Hey, sorry about that. I had to get.
It's okay.
All right.
I just used the opportunity to do a very long spiel about getting Airbrush set up. But it's getting about to the end of our time here. We need to wrap it up pretty soon, so I think we better just skip right to the giveaway.
Yeah.
So let me just get set up for that here. Just a second. While I'm pulling this up, I'll let you answer this one more question here from Jeremy. He said, will you guys be able to stock more Vallejo paints like the Shifters line?
Yeah, we've looked at it. I mean, we used to carry Vallejo a lot more of their lines a long time ago, and they didn't do very well. I think the Mega Color is done obviously the best. So, I mean, we can look at it. We do have a lot of color shifting paint as it is. I mean, E7 has it. SMS is a really great line of paint, and they have color shifting. So, I mean, it's possible, but not anytime soon.
And let's see. I'll take one more question here from Patrick. Because he was so generous on this morning's live stream. Patrick said, any idea on the release date of the Evangelion Megami Device collaboration? No, I don't know. I haven't seen any more news about that. I couldn't say.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything.
Yeah. Other than just like the very preliminary kind of sketches that they put out for is kind of basically all. And what are your 2 early predictions for the next Verka?
2 early predictions. I would love to see the G Self, but I don't know if that's going to come. I could see this. No, maybe not.
I would have loved if they would have made the Mark V as a Verka, because that would mean it would be coming with decals.
Right. Yeah. I would love it if it was a regular release, but
right.
Yeah, I don't know. Like maybe something from there. I mean, there's some big kits from Sentinel.
Yeah.
There seems to be the Faz. They did the Faz. So I could see maybe something from that, but I don't know.
Yeah. Really, all it could be else from Sentinel out at this point would be like a Hummingbird, which that possibly, or like one of the grunts, whether it be like the Zekuines or the Nero. Either any of those, I would love. Yeah, but
I don't know. Has there been a grunt Verka?
Well,
okay.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's probably a little bit of a special case. I do agree with your general point, though. I think a grunt is unlikely. A Hummingbird, though, I mean, possibly.
It is possible.
Yeah. I'm not really that big of a fan of the Zeta, but I could definitely see a Zeta Verka coming out someday. I don't know when and that would be, but I wouldn't be too surprised if that were made someday.
Yeah.
Zeta,
maybe a Mark II. That's a possibility.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about this, I think, before too, that the God Gundam, I think, would make a cool.
We did, yeah.
Verka as well too.
I think right now you can put up a bunch of kits, like not kits, put a bunch of main mobile suits and just throw a dart at it, and
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So first, we're gonna draw the giveaway winner. We need to choose the platform where the winner is going to be coming from. So 1 is going to be YouTube community tab, 2 is Instagram, 3 is Facebook. So first, here we go, 3. So from Facebook, of which we had 94 entries. All right, give me a number close to one of the ends here. 2. All right,
No.
that's easy. All right, going all the way back up here to JJ. Here you go. So we did actually answer his question, thankfully. It's one kit you always wanted, but you haven't gotten. JT, sorry, not JJ. JT Jones.
Congrats.
Congrats, JT. Get in touch with Adam.
Yes.
Claim your prize. Easy as
DM
that.
me, or you can email too, and just say you're the winner. I do need a screenshot of your Facebook just to prove that it's you, that you're logged into it. I don't need any personal information. I just need a picture of it like logged in so you can prove it's you.
Oh, he's watching live. There he is.
Hey, awesome. Yeah. Congrats, man.
Yes. Nice one.
Yeah, so send us that and we'll get the kit out to you.
Very nice. Very cool. Awesome kit too, by the way.
Yes.
I had a lot of fun with that one. So there you go. Sorry we didn't have a whole lot of time to get to your guys' live questions.
Yeah.
A lot of questions to get through. So we did answer a few of them kind of in between stuff. But as always, guys, I try to get the post up for these shows usually a day before, or at least sometime before the shows. So just make sure you're following the Facebook page, Instagram account, and then obviously here on the channel as well too, to make sure you see the post ahead of the live shows so that you can post your questions there too.
Yep.
And of course you can always send your questions directly to Adam.
Yes.
As well too. If you have a question about some pressing matter or something like that, an order or something that you're wondering where your order is or something, just
reach out.
Send that along. But anyway, Adam, anything else for today?
No. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you guys all for all the orders. We definitely appreciate it. We are 100% caught up now. So I think yesterday people were placing orders and we were shipping them out within 5 minutes. So yeah, with that, just make sure your address is correct, because if it's shipping fast, we won't have time to change it. Yeah, we are fully caught up, which is nice finally. So, but thank you everyone for all your patience and all the support.
Yes, indeed. All right. Yeah. Guys, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching live. If you're watching later, again, just make sure you're following so that you can catch the episodes live if you're so inclined. Someone had Angelo was saying that he loves these stream podcasts. That's a good point. We should make these as podcasts.
We could.
Yeah. That'd probably be good.
Yeah.
People can just listen into it, because there's usually not a whole lot of visual things required for it. It's just us talking. So
yeah,
we should do that.
They could see our faces and
All right. So all right, guys, have a great weekend, and we'll see you later. Sorry. One last thing I should talk about. I should mention on probably it'll be on the next episode. I think we'll plan it. So we'll have an announcement regarding the next contest.
Yes,
I will be in the next episode. So in 2 weeks' time, we'll let you guys know what the next contest is going to be. It's going to be a USA Gundam Store, USA Gundam TV contest. So we'll let you guys know what that's going to be, a new building contest. So something to look forward to.
Very exciting.
Yep. So watch out for the next episode and we'll talk more about that. All right, guys. We'll see you then.
See ya.
Bye, everyone.